Hulk Hogan.
You want to get crazy? You want me to throw more beers out? You want me to body slam somebody? You want me to body slam Kamala Harris? I said you want me to body slam.
At an event, Hulkster would ask his loyalists if they want him to body slam Kamala Harris. The music would come in as he asks, "Is Kamala a chameleon?" and follow that up with, "Is she Indian?" After a mixture of yes and no answers, he holds up his hand and utters "how," which once again proves the following. Hulk Hogan is not only a bigot, but his IQ is low. He equates Harris's background being Indian when he said, "how?" a gesture referring, let's be clear, to Native Americans.
Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Well, I can say no, I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She is always identified as a black woman. She went to a historically black college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do you believe
I
that
think
she is
somebody should look into that too when you ask continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
To be clear, what Hogan is doing is repeating Donald Trump's very same wording, but he does not have the brain power to understand it. But for his leader,
I will tell you right now, they don't look like Indians to me. And you look, now, they don't look like Indians to me, sir.
Thank God that's not the test of whether or not people have rights in this country or not, whether or not they pass your look test.
And they don't look like the Indians. Now, maybe we say politically correct or not politically correct. They don't look like Indians to me.
Even about myself, if I was starting off today, I would love to be a well-educated black, because I really believe they do have an actual advantage today.
there's a history with this stuff. Per The Hollywood Reporter, Hogan made the remarks while speaking at an event in Ohio, where he was promoting his new beer. Now, that beer brand, as we have covered previously, has also come under fire.
Hulk Hogan fired a brand ambassador because she was black. We already know how Hulk Hogan feels about black women dating one of his children. So we already know that. That recording's out there. Influencer Essence, Janai, has made allegations against Hulk Hogan that she was fired from her position as a brand ambassador for Hogan's, quote, real American beer, end quote, business due to her being black. According to this influencer via her TikTok, her contract was supposed to last a week, but after promoting the brand for just one day on July 2nd, Hogan canceled the contract, okay? So she revealed that she was replaced immediately by other brand ambassadors on July 3rd who were white. She also shared a text message from Hogan's team stating that Hogan wanted to cancel the events completely. Quote, her agent wrote, "Essence, you didn't do anything wrong at all. In fact, I'm sure you did great. But this client wants us to cancel the rest of the event this week. I'm really sorry." So she replied, "Oh my God, what happened? Are they only taking me off of the events, or are they canceling the events completely?" Her agent replied, "All the rest of the events are canceled completely."
The influencer they chose, Essence Janae, posted a TikTok with the caption, "Hulk Hogan, thanks for making it clear that you don't work with black brand ambassadors." Janae would take screenshots and post online the influencers who took her place. See if you could spot the difference. Hogan and his team saw the backlash and released a statement denying that Essence Janae was fired because of her race. They laid blame at the agency, not the beer brand. Meanwhile, comedian Paul Scheer would have fun with the Hulkster and his beer brand.
This crazy idea for a beer. I see the whole country being divided and diverse, but I get an idea for a beer that it doesn't matter if you're a Republican, you're a Democrat, it doesn't matter what sex you are, it doesn't matter what race you are, where you're from, what you believe in. I've got a beer that's going to bring America back together, one beer at a time. And it's called Hulk Hogan's Real American Beer, brother.
Okay, sure. I mean, it's a broad statement. Doesn't matter if you're Republican, doesn't matter if you're Democrat, doesn't matter if you're straight, doesn't matter if you're gay, doesn't matter if you're a man or you're a woman.
We all want a good life. We want our family, our friends. We want to have the borders closed. We want.
Wait. He just snuck in. We want the border. He wants the borders closed. And he sneaked that one in. Oh my God.
And at the end of the day, we want God back in our schools and in our churches and in our life.
Holy cow. We all want God back in our lives. I don't want to get killed at the gas pump. I just want mandatory prayer at the beginning of every school day. Oh my gosh. I mean, I really was. I was on board. I was like on board and I thought it was maybe just a little short-sighted. Now, holy cow. That was, woo.
Here's the thing, for Hulkster, racism is not necessarily a thing of the past.
Hogan is heard on the tape, which was recorded in 2006, talking about his daughter Brooke, who he accused of sleeping with an African American. I mean, I am a racist to a point. But then, when it comes to nice people and whatever, then says, I mean, I'd rather, if she was going to I'd rather have her marry an 8-foot worth $100 million, like a basketball player. Guess we're all a little racist.
What we saw in that tape is exactly what 21st century racism looks like. You may like black people and be friendly to black children, but you don't want your child to marry a black person.
And also, at a previous rally held in Boise, Idaho, the Hulkster would pose with a man who has literal schmozzy tattoos. If you want to know the meaning behind these symbols, check out our clip on demand. Fast forward to present day. As we know, Madam Vice President Harris's mother was from India and her father is Jamaican, but the Hulkster, after saying this stuff, would pull the ultimate, that was not me, that was the beer talking line to his followers. But the damage, of course, was already done. His team has been contacted for comment, as you see here. They are yet to respond, hoping that it'll just all blow over. Via the New Republic, Hogan's comments are also further proof that all of MAGA seems to have a problem recognizing biracial people. During Trump's interview with the National Association of Black Journalists last month, the former prez stated that for years, Harris, quote, was Indian all the way, and then suddenly she made a turn and she became a black person. That is so incredibly stupid. In other news, it's another tough day for the keep politics out of sports crowd. Per the Columbus Dispatch, while most attendees were wearing wrestling memorabilia, some wore Make America Great Again hats. Along with Trump gear, they would ask the Hulkster to sign them, and he obliged. Let's also not forget.
You and Hulk were once good friends.
Yeah.
What's the likelihood of that ever being repaired?
Never. And he's the one that ratted me to Vince when I tried to unionize. I found that out under federal deposition when Vince was put under sworn, and he didn't hesitate at all. I told my lawyer the story, and in deposition you can ask about anything. And so I wanted to know who ratted me in the locker room because there were no agents, no one from the office was in there when I did it. So it had to be one of the boys. And when my attorney said, Mr. McMahon, has there ever been a union in wrestling? And Vince said, no. He said, has anyone ever tried to? And Vince said, well, I think Jesse Ventura spouted his mouth off about it once before. And my attorney said, did you hear Mr. Ventura? No. Well, then how do you know he did? With no hesitation, Vince went, Hulk Hogan told me. And I didn't show any emotion, but I almost tipped over in the chair because he was my friend.
Like Trump, he is a union buster, as Jesse the Body Ventura explained to Graham Bensinger some years ago. Of course, Jesse the Body Ventura, former governor of Minnesota, a libertarian, has endorsed the Harris-Walz ticket and has spoke highly rather of the governor, Tim Walz. Here's another thing I found. There were some reports that Hogan, along with fellow RNC speaker, influencer Amber Rose, and one half of Ray Shremmen, Sway Lee, were involved in some crypto schemes. There is somewhat of a pattern here. And we do know that the biz bros and the tech bros are in on Donald Trump. So will they potentially need his help if there is to be litigation down the line involving them? Maybe. Are they trading their endorsements for help down the line? Maybe. There is a pattern there as well, as we have seen from some other celebrities. What I will say is this. Hulk Hogan saying this, doing this, uttering these lines shows that he has not learned from those tapes that came out in the Gawker lawsuit. And again, if you want to know more about the Gawker lawsuit, check out our videos on demand. But what it shows to me is that you can't teach this old dog new tricks. And he is going to be a loyalist through and through, because the guy who bankrolled his entire lawsuit against Gawker, Peter Thiel, is also in for Donald Trump, in for J.D. Vance. They know each other well. They have an affinity for one another. And they also believe that democracy should not really be a thing. Some of their ideas are insane, but they share them. And that is why Thiel, who previously said he doesn't get political, doesn't want to be political, has thrown wads of cash behind J.D. Vance and Donald Trump, which also, very quickly, shows another wrinkle to this, which is Michael Flynn is really peeved at the Vance pick because he thought that he could potentially be the VP pick. Do I think that? No. But it is very interesting to see this internal civil war in MAGA world where the Fuenteses and the Michael Flynns are really upset at the Vance pick. Meanwhile, Trump knows where his bread is buttered, and that is through his donors, which he badly needs at this point in time, especially when they are down in the polls. Peter Thiel is one of many who will flood cash into their campaign, and I do believe it was a trade-off there, where Trump is going to pick Vance, and he's going to get all of that money from the Musks and the Thiels of the world.
If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports, and or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.